Hi, I'm MadSal. I'm going to teach you all my AI secrets, but let's start with how I change my clothes. Just kidding. It's like my favorite joke right now. If you're watching this anywhere but YouTube, this is the quickie version, but the full tutorial's over there. And if you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Thanks. People think that AI is daunting, but it's really just going to websites and playing around until you figure it out. So the AI model that I like to use for changing my clothing is Pika. Pika.art is the URL. Instead of .com, it's .art. Pretty cool. It is a paid service. I do the cheap version, which is $8 a month. The way that AI generations typically work is you purchase a handful of credits that go towards the AI model that you are using. It costs a certain amount of credits to do various generations. So something that's harder to generate or longer might take 1,000 credits, or something that's more simple might take 100. But the thing is, you will regenerate something so many times in order to get a great generation that you eat through your credits pretty quickly. $8 a month has never been an issue for me. I've never run out of credits using Pika, and if you don't use them all, they roll over to the next month. So we love that. From the homepage, go down here to Pika Swaps. This will only generate 5 seconds of footage at a time, so that's why my clips are always really short. So sometimes I'll have a video clip that is longer than 5 seconds, but I'll want to replace my outfit for the full, let's say, 8 seconds of the clip. What I'll do is I'll generate the first half of the clip with a prompt, and then I'll use the same prompt on the second half of the clip. You can see here I generated this swimsuit multiple times. And that was because I was trying to get the same exact orange bikini, but it's gonna look a little different every single time. Within my video editing, I'll try to find a good spot where I can add a distraction to draw your eyes away from my outfit, and I'll morph the video clips together. I usually do stuff like add text, or I'll point to something, and so your eyes are going somewhere else on the screen while my outfit is doing a weird morph. So, upload a video. I took a clip of that intro. It's about 10 seconds long. It will give you the first frame of your video. And from here, I like to use the brush to draw on what I want to change. They don't have a zoom in feature, so I just zoom in on my browser. And let's use my brush. I try not to spill over onto my hair too much because I hate when the AI replaces my hair. I don't like how it looks. It doesn't look very realistic, but it's over my tank top, so I'm just gonna let it be part of this swap. Prompting is different for every single AI model. With Firefly, I like to use long, super incredibly descriptive prompts. With Pika, I like to keep it short because the longer I go, the more confused it gets. So it's frustrating if you want something very specific, but the best way to approach this is to keep an open mind. So replace white tank top with a blue silk V-neck tank top. Advanced options. So negative prompts is where you write things that you don't want to see in your video. So oftentimes another figure wanders into frame, or your outfit looks super like shiny and animated. So you can negative prompt animated looking clothing, no additional figures, no added jewelry. I choose not to do these additional settings when I'm using Pika for clothing swaps, just because I don't want to complicate it. And I could also write the negative prompts into my regular prompt. I also use Pika Pro. It's going to use up more of your AI credits. Then you just click that little diamond, it will start generating, and that will appear in your library up here. This interface is not my favorite. You have to minimize this in order to see that your video is generating. I've done this before where I've like hit the thing 5 times and then you're just using up credits because it'll keep generating in different ways. So we'll give that a few minutes and then we'll see what it did. Ooh, okay, this is fun. So another thing that you can do is you can highlight the area that you want to change, a tank top, and you can upload a reference image. So let's go find a cute top that I want to wear. Like a simple regular tank top would be easiest to generate. Okay, let's see if this will do this to me. We have this tank top to use as a reference. Let me just take a screenshot of it. And then, wow. Okay, so now back to Pika. I can upload this screenshot. And then let me just adjust my selection to kind of mimic where the top goes on the model. Replace tank top with a navy blue polyester. How do you spell polyester? Halter top. Generate. That took an hour, which is insane. Usually these take like 5 minutes. I ended up generating a bunch more versions. Okay, let's see what we got. Ooh, instead of a tank top, it just gave me giant boobs. I think the reason why I look all like lopsided, oh my God, I totally look like Bobby, what's her name? That girl who interviewed Drake with the one giant boob in that video. Anyways, this one, it changed my top, but I also have a massive breast. Let's see what this one did. Okay, so the top changed. There's something weird like running through it. This has got to be because my hair is over it. That is another tip. Keep your hair out of the way and then you won't deal with weird, strange generations like these. Okay, here is the one where we used a reference photo. It is quite revealing, more revealing than I intended, and it has another weird like color running through the top. This blue mesh top, I don't know what is with all these the weird shading it's giving me. I think I can work with these because the idea that I have is I want the shirt to morph multiple times. Let's try a few more. I think part of the weirdness with my body shape is the way that I painted the selection. I selected the top and I selected my hair. So it's interpreting that curve of my hair to be covering part of my body, I think. So let's clear this and we'll just select inside of the hair and see if that changes things. Purple patterned top. And now we've learned it's giving weird gray shadows. So no gray shadows, no unusual color generate. Teal spandex tank top, silk navy blouse. So now let's do the same thing for the second clip. Shiny black halter top. That splotch again. This might just be something that I'm gonna have to fix a different way. Advanced settings, odd shadows, weird splotches, white casts. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Okay, silk navy blouse. It has a splotch, but I don't mind it so much. It looks like shine from the blouse. Cool. Oh, you know what I could do? I can reflect part of the outfit onto itself. I could also use content aware fill in After Effects. Okay, I have some workarounds. So let's see what we get. Okay, that is a shiny leather tank top. Okay, maybe shiny is key. Shiny orange tank top. I'm out of credits. Damn. Wow. I went and bragged about how I never run out of credits, and now look at me, what a fool. You're gonna watch me eat my words. Crap. Darn it. It's the end of the month too, so I like almost made it to the next month. That is the hard thing about AI being credit-based, because then you waste credits on all these terrible generations. Dang. Okay. What we're gonna do is we are going to work with what we have. So now I've taken all of my clips into Premiere Pro, which is my editing software of choice, and I've stacked them all on top of my original footage, but the footage is too small. So we will go ahead and scale this to 100. We're gonna just copy paste the motion effect onto there. So now it's the same size as our footage. Here is the other thing about Pika's AI. Pika is not taking your video and just editing the piece that you highlighted it to swap out. What it does is it ingests your entire video and it recreates it, giving you a whole new video. So something that you can see here is all these artifacts on my eyes and all these weird like digital glitching. You can see my hair texture is very strange because the AI reinterpreted my footage, basically. So what I like to do when I am doing clothing swaps on my video is I create an opacity mask on my Pika footage. That also resolves the watermark issue. Using the pen tool, I will draw around the generated outfit so that's the only part of that clip that you can see on top of my original footage. And you can see how much grainier the AI generated footage is than my original footage. Yeah, I hate the way this AI generated hair looks. It always looks stiff and unrealistic. So I try to crop it out as much as possible. But this mask does not move with my body, so I might need to adjust it. Let's see how this looks. Hi, I'm MadSal. I'm gonna teach you all my AI secrets, but let's start with how I change my clothes. Cool, that looks great. From watching this tutorial, you should be able to identify AI generated outfits a little bit better. Look at the grain on that top compared to my original top. No grain. Grain, no grain. There's like a weird bumpy texture that isn't just grainy. It's like a strange warped, unique to AI type texture, like on the jeans too. A lot of times it doesn't completely comply with what my body shape is. It'll either make me a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller. And the times that it makes me a little bit smaller, you can see a very clear edge that's like a little lighter than the rest of my background. In this video with the yellow top, it changed my body shape slightly. And you can see right here, the weird cast, which is kind of like the lines of my original tank top showing through. So this is harder to spot since I have a dark chair as my background, but you can always see little remnants of my original outfit. And I think it's pretty clear to see in this one, even throughout this video, there's like remnants of that tank top neckline. So typically little remnants will always show through. That's one way to spot AI generated clothing. It's also just this strange texture. I feel like if you watch my video, I'm usually somehow distracting you from the outfit before I reveal that I have an AI generated outfit. But the second time you watch, it should be extremely clear, because it's got this weird texture. It's got a weird way of moving. It almost like moires, which is like when patterns go like this on TV. That's my official definition of what moiraying is. So it made me a little bit thinner so you can still kind of see right here and here. It's like the ghost of myself, you know? There's like a ghost of me behind this AI generated top. The body looks pretty real, but there are still some remnants of the old me. This one's clearly my old ghost tank, keeps showing through. I'm sure you've seen a lot of hyper-realistic AI videos that don't have this distinguishable texture and this strange cast. Stuff like Google VO3, Kling 2.0, all these other really good AI video models have high quality outputs, but there are not a lot of video models that will edit your video. The reason why I use Pika is because you can change elements on your video These other AI models don't have that capability yet. I'm sure very, very soon we will start seeing a ton of AI models where you can edit features within your video. There aren't too many of those yet. I do use those other models in my TikToks. That's why my workflow is a combination of multiple things. There's the AI models, then there's Premiere, sometimes I use After Effects. I'm adding these AI elements to my videos. My entire video is not AI generated, but you know, it's the minutia of how you say it. That's why. I've chosen, I think, the best looking 3, and we've kind of got a cool morph effect going on. It looks okay. It looks pretty good, but I'm still bothered by those little remnants. Okay, so I'm gonna fuss with this a bit and then it'll look perfect, but it's just gonna take a lot of masking various areas and only you will notice. That is how I change my clothing using AI in my videos. Super easy, right? Honestly, sometimes the process is super easy, but it's the compositing and all this extra stuff that makes it a lot more work. If you just want to change your outfit and post that video, you could just post it right out of Pika. You don't need to composite it on top of your footage like I'm doing. I'm just a perfectionist and everything must be the way that I exactly want it to be. And that's why I do what I do. Let me know what questions you have and I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll continue to make these tutorials. So subscribe to my channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Bye.